My name is Evelyn Parker. I'm 67 years old, and I never imagined that my own son would one day leave me without a home. For most of my life, I believed a mother's love could survive anything. I raised my son, Nathan, alone after his father died in a car accident when Nathan was only 5. Life became difficult overnight. I worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table and give Nathan the childhood he deserved. During the day, I cleaned offices. At night, I worked at a grocery store. Whenever Nathan needed something, I sacrificed something of my own. When he needed new shoes, I kept wearing my old ones. When he needed school books, I stopped buying things for myself. When he dreamed of college, I secretly saved money for him. Whenever Nathan hugged me and said, "Mom, you're the best," I forgot how tired I was. Years passed, and Nathan grew into a successful young man. He found a good job at a technology company and eventually met a woman named Claire. I welcomed Claire into our family. I cooked for her, remembered her birthday, and even gave her my late mother's necklace when they married. After their wedding, Nathan surprised me. "Mom, you shouldn't live alone anymore. Come live with us." I hesitated. "I don't want to become a burden." "You never could be." I believed him. So I sold my small house, the place where I had lived for more than 30 years. It wasn't worth a fortune, but every room carried memories of Nathan growing up. Much of the money from the sale helped Nathan and Claire with their mortgage. I gave it willingly. They were my family. For several months, everything seemed peaceful. Then Claire began acting differently. She complained when I cooked. She criticized the way I cleaned. She stopped inviting me to family dinners and often made me feel like I was taking up too much space. I tried to ignore it. I didn't want to come between my son and his wife. One evening, I was walking toward the kitchen when I heard Claire talking quietly. "We need our own space, Nathan." I stopped. After a long silence, Nathan replied, "I know." My heart sank. The next morning, Nathan asked me to sit with him at the kitchen table. "Mom, Claire and I think you should move out." I stared at him. "Move out? You asked me to sell my house and come here." "I know. I have nowhere to go." He looked uncomfortable. "You'll figure something out." Those words hurt more than anything he had ever said to me. I had spent my whole life figuring things out for him. Now, when I needed him, he couldn't do the same for me. 2 weeks later, I packed my clothes into 2 suitcases. I carefully wrapped my husband's photograph in a towel and placed it inside. At the front door, Nathan stood silently. "I'll carry your bags," he said. "No," I whispered. "I can carry them." I walked outside and waited. For a few seconds, I hoped he would stop me. Maybe he would say, "Mom, come back." He didn't. The door closed. That evening, I arrived at a homeless shelter with 2 suitcases and a broken heart. A kind woman gave me a blanket and showed me a small bed. As I stared at the ceiling that night, I realized something painful. I had lost my home, but I still had a choice. I could spend the rest of my life waiting for Nathan to rescue me, or I could learn to rescue myself. The next morning, I decided I could not spend my life feeling sorry for myself. I started helping at the shelter. I served breakfast, cleaned tables, and organized donated clothes. The work was simple, but it gave me a reason to get up each morning. Joe. A few days later, I saw an old friend named Margaret. Evelyn, is that really you? She was shocked when she learned that I was living at the shelter. Instead of judging me, she held my hand. You spent your whole life taking care of others, she said. Now let someone help you. Margaret helped me find a small part-time job at a local church. I worked hard and started saving a little money every week. Then, one afternoon, I heard a familiar voice. Mom. I turned around. Nathan stood there with tears in his eyes. I've been looking everywhere for you. I looked at him quietly. You never asked where I was. He lowered his head. I know. I'm sorry. For once, he didn't make excuses or blame Claire. I made the choice to ask you to leave, he said. Claire didn't force me. I was wrong. His honesty hurt, but it also showed me that he finally understood. A few weeks later, he asked me to meet him at a park. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for the money I had given him from the sale of my house. I sold my car, he said. I wanted to return what you gave us. I shook my head. I never wanted your money, Nathan. His eyes filled with tears. I know. I wanted my son. He began crying. So did I. For the first time since leaving his house, I held his hand. We didn't repair our relationship overnight. Nathan visited me every weekend. We talked, ate simple meals, and slowly rebuilt the trust he had broken. Months later, with my savings and the money he returned, I rented a small apartment. It wasn't fancy, but sunlight filled the windows, and I had a tiny balcony. I planted roses there. When Nathan helped me move in, he looked around and smiled. It feels like home. I smiled. Home isn't about how big a place is. It's about the love inside it. He hugged me. Thank you for giving me another chance. I held him tightly. I may never forget what happened, I whispered, but I don't want the pain to control my future. That evening, I sat on my balcony and watched the sunset. I had lost my old house. I had lost my trust. But I had not lost myself. I learned that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to move forward without allowing someone else's mistake to destroy the rest of your life. Nathan had hurt me deeply, but his mistake no longer controlled my future. I had built a new home. And more importantly, I had rebuilt myself. Sometimes the people we love can break our hearts. Sometimes they can also learn from their mistakes. But one lesson will always stay with me. A house can be replaced. Money can be earned again. But the love of a mother should never be taken for granted.